Hello. So today I wanted to take some time to go over the real estate purchase contract with you. This is the contract that you will see whenever it is that you are ready to submit an offer on a home. I wanted to give you an opportunity to familiarize yourself with it, just get a feel for what it will look like. It is 6 pages long, so I don't want it to be overwhelming when the time does come. Let's get into it. Please bear with me. This is going to be a longer video, and feel free to skip around if you're needing a better understanding of something. It is quite boring. I'm not going to lie. It's a contract, but stay with me. We'll try to get through it really quick. So this top part, this earnest money deposit, on the very top, we're just going to put the date that we're making this offer. Your name is the buyer, the seller's name, and we are agreeing to deliver our earnest money deposit no later than 4 calendar days after our offer is accepted. So we're going to want to make sure that all the funds are there that are necessary for the earnest money deposit. Whatever amount it is that we decide to deposit, we will put right here, and then we're going to want to make sure it's in the form of a check, preferably a cashier's check. I cannot take money, so just make sure that it's in a check. Let's go down to our offer to purchase. Number 1, I'm going to fill out all of that information, put in the address, the city, the county, the zip code, and the tax ID. If you go down to 1.1, this talks about the included items. So everything should be included in the sale of a home that is real property unless otherwise specified. Just to make you familiar with the term real property, for example, if you were to take the house, flip it upside down, and everything that fell out of it would be considered personal property, and anything that stuck with it would be considered real property. So for example, that would be like all of the plumbing, the heating, solar panels, anything like that. If we go down to 1.2, I'm just going to check anything that's included. If the washer, dryer, refrigerator, microwaves are included, and anything else that's included, I will also put there. If you go down right below it where we have our R and our R not, this deals with if you're asking for something in a personal bill of sale. So we'll deal with that if that ends up happening. 1.3 excluded items. If there's something they're not selling with the home that should come with it, they'll typically put that right there. Not typically, they are required to put it right there. 1.4, our water service. If for some reason the water rights or water shares with this home are not being transferred with the sale, that will be listed there. Let's go down to purchase price. Okay, 2.1. This is going to be the amount that you are deciding to offer for the home. If we go down to A, our earnest money deposit, the same number we put above, it's just how much we're giving for earnest money. Additional earnest money deposit. So here's something to note. Additional earnest money can be lost. It does make your offer look stronger because it's more being put down, but on the flip side, again, it can be lost. So we'll talk about if that's something that you're wanting to do or not. Let's skip C and come back to it. So if we go down to D, seller financing, this is basically us asking the sellers to pay our closing costs. Depending on where the market's at, this may be smart and this may not be smart. If we're living in a market in which houses are like going super quick, they're not lasting very long on the market, they're being sold for quite a bit above the list price. If it's competitive, then we probably don't want to ask for them to pay for anything because they have someone, I'm sure, that is willing to pay for it on their own. But on the flip side, if we're in a market where inventory is super duper high, and it's taking a while to sell houses, they're going for below the list price, it may be smart to ask for the financing because they're wanting to move and sell their house. So we'll take that as it comes. E is the closing cost amount that we'll need. If your lender/loan officer doesn't let you know what this is, it's not a problem at all. We will figure it out and get that taken care of. And then right underneath that is the purchase price again, which we have at the top. So going back up to C, our new loan amount is whatever we're offering for the house minus the earnest money amount, minus any additional earnest money, minus seller financing, and minus our closing costs, because that's all money we're paying right now, so it's going to be taken out of the loan amount. If we go down to sale of buyer's property, if you need to sell a home before you are purchasing this home, then you will check that it is conditional. The purchase of this house is conditional to the sale. If you don't, then you'll check is not. Settlement and closing. Before we get into that, I'm just going to say it once so I don't have to say it at the end of every page. At the bottom of every page, you're going to need to initial and date. That's just how it is. So hopefully you're familiar with that. If we go to settlement, settlement is the day that we all sit down, we meet with the title officer, and we sign all the documentation. After that, we have closing, which occurs once all of the funds have transferred and recorded and everything is squared away. Then we hit possession, which is the time in which I get to meet you at your brand new house and give you your keys, and it is finally yours. So depending on how we have everything written up, possession may take place as soon as everything records, may take place hours after it records, or even up to days. That will all be determined between us and the sellers. That's our negotiation. Prorations, assessments, and other payment obligations really only have to do with an HOA. So if you are purchasing a townhouse or a condo, I will talk to you about this. But if you're just purchasing a single family home, do not worry about that. 5, confirmation of agency disclosure. This is just where I fill out the seller's name, their brokerage, their license number, all of that good stuff. There is mine in case you were wondering. 6, title and title insurance. So title to property is just you saying that as soon as the house sells, you're going to take the title from the seller for this property. A and B cover long-term lease or rental agreements. If the seller has decided to allow someone to rent or lease their home or a portion of their home, that is still standing and it's still a binding contract even after you purchase the home and after they sell it. It's something you will be aware of. If we go down to 6, title insurance, the sellers are the ones that pay for the title insurance, but what title insurance serves, the purpose that title insurance serves is that the title officer is doing all the work to make sure that the title is free and clear, there's no liens on it, that as soon as you move into the house and it's all yours, there's not going to be someone banging on your door demanding money that the previous owners owe, so they're taking care of all of that. Seller disclosures. So our seller disclosures are the disclosures and the time in which the seller has to tell us anything that they know about the home. If they have done remodels, if there's been flooding, if they've changed light bulbs, anything like that, that's the time in which they have to tell us about that. If we go to 8, buyer's condition of purchase, this deals with our due diligence condition and our due diligence period. So our due diligence period is the time in which we have to do any type of testing that you're wanting done on the home. So maybe you want to test for radon, meth, lead-based paint, a home inspection, all of that stuff you can do, and you can do anything after that. It's up to you. If we check this box is conditioned, you're basically just saying that whatever we get on these reports is going to be conditional to us purchasing this home. If you check is not, then you're saying it doesn't really matter what they say, we're still wanting to purchase the home. What you're going to want to know is that if we do get a report back and it is conditional to the purchase of the home and something's wrong, as long as we get everything taken care of within our due diligence deadline period, or our due diligence period, we have the opportunity to negotiate with the sellers to see what it is that they will pay for and have repaired, and potentially what we may need to pay for and have repaired. If you wait until after the due diligence period, the negotiation time is gone. It's all on us as the buyers, so we want to make sure we meet our deadlines. Let's see, if we go down to 8.2 appraisal condition, if you are taking out a loan for this home, you do need to have an appraisal done, or else the bank will not loan on it. If we go down to 8.3 financing condition, this is your opportunity to decide if you having finances is necessary to purchase the home or not. So God forbid that there's a medical emergency, someone loses their job, or something comes up that requires a lot of financing, you may now be in a position where you can no longer buy this house. So you may want the financing to be required to purchase the home, because if it's not required, you can't cancel the contract for the reason of not having funding. So we'll talk about what that looks like and what you feel is best for you. This section right here is going to do with additional earnest money. So if you did not put any of that down, you don't need to worry about it. And if you want to, we'll talk about it. 9, our addenda. If we are adding any additional document to this REPC, For example, maybe a seller financing document, an FHA/VA loan document, an escalation clause, anything like that. We're going to need to make sure that they're aware of that and list that there. A home warranty plan / as-is condition of property. You do have an opportunity to have a home warranty included in the purchase of your home. Either you can pay for it or the seller can pay for it, or you can just leave it blank and take care of it after you move in. If you do decide to ask for a home warranty plan, just know that, like asking for anything else for the sellers to pay for, it makes your offer not look as strong because they're having to fork up more money. If you want to pay for it and make sure that's included, it's fine. They typically run around $600. Let's cover this part really quick. 10.2 and 10.3 are basically just saying that you as the buyer are agreeing to purchase this home as is, especially if you did not take advantage of your due diligence period. And the sellers are acknowledging to let you know everything that they know about the house to make sure that you are buying it and getting what it is that you are expecting to get. 11, we're almost done. I'm so sorry, but we're almost there. 11, final pre-settlement walkthrough inspection. So no earlier than 7 calendar days prior to settlement, we have the opportunity to go to this house and do a final walkthrough just to make sure they haven't ripped up carpet, there's not a wall missing, the walls aren't painted fuchsia or something crazy that it wasn't before. That's our opportunity to do all of that. 12, changes during transaction. This is the part of the contract that just basically says there can't be any crazy changes made on the seller's end. They need to let us know of everything. And yes, that is that. 13, authority of signers. This is basically just saying that you are in fact of sound mind, of age, that you're totally able to sign this. Complete contract is everything in this REPC and everything attached to it. 15, mediation. If something does go wrong and we need to go to mediation or court, this is your opportunity to decide if you would like to just automatically go to mediation or if you think that we should be able to determine that, both parties agreeing, what would be best for them if that were to arise. 16, default. There's not really a lot of ways for the seller to default, but for us, we can default if we don't meet our deadlines, so we want to make sure that we're just meeting those. 17, attorney fees and costs / governing laws. If we do have to go to court or mediation, whoever comes out on bottom will pay the fees of whoever comes out on top. Notices say that we need to change a deadline date. I can't call or text them and let them know. We need to make sure we have that in writing. 19, no assignment. If you start this contract, you need to be the one to finish it. You can't assign it to anybody else. 20, insurance and risk of loss. You are going to need to get insurance, and I would definitely check with whoever it is that you have car insurance with. Typically, they have a bundle that could save you some money, but you don't need to go with them. You can go with whoever it is that you're wanting to and shop around as much as you'd like. 21, final page. Time is of the essence. This just states that time is of the essence. We need to make sure that we're meeting our deadlines. All contracts expire at 5 p.m. On the date that is put down there. 22, electronic transmission and counterparts. An electronic signature is just as good as an ink one in this day and age. Acceptance occurs once everybody's signed off on everything and we are good to go. These will be our deadlines whenever we fill this out, so you'll want to put these in your phone and make sure that you are aware of when they're coming up so we don't ever miss these. 25 is just the time that we're giving them to respond to our offer. I always call the listing agent and see if there's a date or a time that they're preferring. Maybe they have family stuff going on and they need a couple days or something. I just always do that to make sure that your offer is able to be seen, looked at, and thought about. And then initial at the bottom and date, and that is it. That's the overview of the real estate purchase contract. Thank you so much for hanging on. I know it was super long, but at least you have a better understanding and we don't have to go through as much when we go to submit an offer. So if you have any additional questions, please call me, text me, message me on social media. I am here for you, and I'm so excited to eventually get to the point where we are offering on your dream home.